The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hey, Bill Nye, the science guy here. Whenever I am listening to the radio, especially Tech Talk Radio, it's just such a party.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
I'm Broadway.
And I'm Justin.
We are the show that talks about computers.
Technology.
Come on, you can get through it, Broadway.
On, you can do it. You can do it.
The internet.
And sometimes other things like blockchain or video games or whatever else is on our mind.
Or nice getaways to Hawaii, which, welcome back. You went to Hawaii.
That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
I went to Maui, yeah.
Yeah. How was the trip?
It was a good trip. Had a lot of fun. Except for the last day, we ended up getting stranded in Vegas on our way back. So we flew from Denver to San Jose to Maui, and then Maui to Las Vegas to Denver. But on the way back, we got to Las Vegas, and we were flying Southwest. They delayed our plane, delayed it again, and then they just finally canceled it around, I want to say it was around like 8:30 or so they canceled it. They said that they were going to have another 11:45 flight. But with Eric, I'm like, I'm not going to keep him up that late. We're in an airport. We're dirty. We're tired. I said, no, we'll just rebook it. So we ended up staying at the Luxor for a night.
Nice. Yeah.
Which actually wasn't bad for a Friday night. And I know, I get it. I know Luxor is one of the aging properties on the Strip now. And it's definitely showing its age.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
Watch your mouth.
What? It is.
He likes the Luxor.
No, I love it too. I really do love the Luxor.
No, it just
That's
made me
probably
feel
one of
old.
my favorite. Well, I know it's one of my favorite places, and trust me, I went there when it was brand new too. So yeah, to see it, I'm like, dang. But it was only $150 for a room, so that's not too bad. I mean, considering Vegas
On a Friday night, yeah.
on a Friday night, yeah. So we got Eric into bed. I went down and promptly lost about $100. Well, no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I contributed to the Vegas fund for about $100 in about 15 minutes. And yeah, and that's another thing too. You can't find any blackjack for like $5 or $10 anymore. Everything's $15 and up.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I asked one of the pit bosses, I'm like, can I find a $5 or $10 game? And they literally laughed at me. And they're like, dude, it's a Friday night. I'm like, okay,
Wow.
yeah. So again, where can I find a $10? And they're like, maybe somewhere off the Strip. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that everything on the Strip right now is like 15 and up. He's like, yeah, 15's the lowest.
Oh, my gosh. I used to go and play the $2 blackjack tables.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah. So, yeah, $100 later, I just like, cool. I've been to Vegas so many times. Not a big deal anymore. I went upstairs, went to bed. But we got back the next day. From Maui to Vegas, we had one of those situations that you normally would see on like Live Leak, where the passengers being unruly. And that happened to be the lady sitting right behind my wife.
Whoa. Like, what was going on?
Well, I mean, she put her tray table down and right away put her tray table down and then proceeded to put all of her weight. And she was a big
Portly?
girl.
Would that be the word? Portly?
Yeah. Portly. Yeah, big girl. Big girl. Put all of her weight on the tray table to put her head down, which knocked Misa's seat back. And so she's like, oh, wow, okay, well, let me recline my seat a little bit to give the lady a little bit more room and easy access. When she did that, the lady shoved the seat back into her, so knocked Misa forward, spilling her drink. And she's like, what the heck? And so I got up and told the flight attendant about it. Flight attendant comes over and starts talking to the lady. And she's like, I don't have a problem. And she starts screaming and stuff. And
Oh, man.
and Misa's and Eric is just sitting there between the two of us. And we're just like, okay, whatever. And then, the flight attendant goes to turn around and leave. And the lady just punches Misa's seat and knocks her forward again. And so Misa shouts out. So then I stand up and I start yelling at the lady.
Oh, my God. I thought you would witness something. I didn't know you were in the middle of it.
Yeah. People had I looked around, people had their cell phones on. I'm like, yeah, come on. Put them away. It's like, whatever. But the lady ended up just calming down and just, was quiet the rest of the flight. But I was just like, wow. Never thought I would be on the end of one of those.
Can you imagine being on the plane where they duct tape the passenger into the chair?
Oh, yes. I heard about that.
Have you guys seen the viral video of the comic? There's a comic that did the story about what happened.
Oh, okay.
And his attitude in telling the story is absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
Which is one of those viral videos that went on this past week after all of that happened. But yeah, no, pretty bad stuff.
I haven't seen that part. I've seen the video of the guy actually getting duct tape to the seat, but
yeah. that's
I
out there
haven't
too.
seen the comedy thing about that. No, the comedy commentary, if you will.
You know, it's so funny because the world is so small now with all of this, all of these viral videos now. I mean, you can't do anything without a video of it being captured because we all have our smartphones.
Yep.
You think about it, 15 years ago, it wasn't as common, but now there are, organizations that will pay for that footage. So they have the rights to put it online, make some money with ads. And, there's so many platforms now that feature that. I don't know. I think I find most of the viral videos on Twitter, but I do know, Reddit's got them. Snapchat has got them. Probably the big one is TikTok. TikTok has got them as well. So it's been.
Yeah, I really like the TikTok. I don't know, John or Sean, do you guys use TikTok at all?
Nope. I had it for a period of time, and I didn't care. The videos were entertaining, but the more I used it, the more I realized I just kept getting more and more things that were not appealing to me. I started getting, well, not that women aren't appealing to me, right? But I started getting a lot more inappropriate TikToks.
Yeah.
I started getting things that I started not caring about. I started getting more political things. And I started getting just things that I just found distasteful. So I got rid of TikTok. But it was very interesting that Caitlin's TikTok stream and my stream were completely different.
Well, yeah,
100%
because they
different.
tailor based on what you're looking at.
Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't care for it. Then you had the whole issue with it.
You can
being
reset
Chinese.
your TikTok account too.
Can you really? Your feed?
Yeah, you can reset the feed.
No, I
joined TikTok because of that. Everything that he's complaining about, I joined TikTok for all that. So
that's because
fine.
you're weird, dude.
More content for you to adjust. This was also part of when I got rid of a bunch of my other social medias too, right? So it kind of just went into that bucket of things that I got rid of. So
I will tell you something. And for those listeners that don't know, Sean did this a while ago. You got rid of Facebook. You got rid of most social media, right?
So I got rid of almost everything, right?
Except for Reddit.
I can't say that I completely got rid of Facebook because I use it too much to communicate with family that I just disabled it, which still allows me to have access to Messenger.
Right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So having access to Messenger was too important for me because of family, work contacts, friends, things like that. That was too much of a communication tool to not completely disable, to get rid of it. But Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Oh, even LinkedIn, really?
Yeah, even my LinkedIn. Yeah.
You got Reddit though.
I do have Reddit, which I like that we've talked about Reddit in the past. It's more tailored for my interests.
Still social media.
I know it's still social media. That's why
I'm just saying.
I'm saying I haven't gotten rid of everything social media related, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm completely off the internet because it's impossible.
Yeah. In today's age, yeah.
But I still needed a place where I could get news, some entertainment, and I still like to find funny things on the internet, right? Everybody likes that.
Yeah.
It's
Funny cat
just
videos.
The other platforms, and I'm gonna shout out to the app that I use for Reddit, Apollo, on iOS, doesn't serve you ads.
But Reddit does built in.
But Reddit does built in. So I find that doing Reddit on my phone with the Apollo app is much more beneficial to me because it doesn't track me. It doesn't use my information. It doesn't give me ads.
That
and all
you
that
know
stuff
of.
That I know of, right?
I'm just being cynical here.
I will say that getting rid of a couple of the other ones definitely still cut down my device time, my computer time, and I was able to get projects done, and I'm in a better place mentally, and I know that.
So a couple weeks ago, I want to say it was a couple weeks ago, Snapchat had a crash, and
oh really?
It was a crash that took about I want to say about 5, maybe 6 hours. And so when they finally got Snapchat back up and running again, they said that it's back up, but some may still be having an issue. If that's the case, manually download the app. So I looked at it and I thought, just get rid of it. So I removed the app. Now, I still have the account. It's still there. It's in the cloud, but it's not tied to my device. Let me tell you, that night and that next day, I didn't re-download it. I went a whole day. My phone was still working without charging. I just felt like I wasn't checking my phone every 30 minutes to see, did I get a snap? Did somebody send me a message? Or, did I post something? Did I get any views? It does change your overall, I want to say well-being. When you step away from the social media for a little bit, it really does help. And I'm sure there's psychologists out there that will say that sometimes you've got to do that. And, it's like sometimes you step outside and you just breathe in the air. It had that same kind of feeling that next day. Now, a couple days later, I went ahead and re-downloaded the app and everything else. But I was fine. It was like, and I found that I'm not checking it as much because sometimes we just got to learn to just step away from it. I've already kind of taken that step back from Facebook. Still on there. We have our accounts on Facebook. We still utilize it. I'll still look once in a while, but I'm not on it like I was because it has become just, it just becomes so volatile. Facebook has with, comments, you got political, you got the different COVID ideas that are floating around out there. And it just feels like when you step back, it just feels so much better.
I agree. And I think, Sean is a testament to that. I mean, he's, you've said in the past, Sean, that you've actually felt better not being on social media.
Well, yeah. So it's the big takeaway that I have from it is everything that I was doing. You got to remember, I was in the media industry, and so were you, Justin. You were in the news industry when Facebook kind of took over and everything went to Facebook. Everything was live on Facebook, share, everything. So you were compelled to everything you did. You shared. Oh, look at this great photo I took.
Yeah. Do you ever look back in your feed and see what you posted like back in 2008, 2009?
Oh, yeah. Well,
where you say, why was I posting that?
I downloaded all of the data they have on, and I downloaded all the images, everything. So I can go back and anytime look and see what I uploaded to my Facebook in October of 2007.
I posted the most stupidest stuff, like I'm eating a jelly donut. It's like, what?
Right, but
like, who cares?
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I felt that I wasn't creating content for myself.
Yeah.
I
You're
was
creating
creating
for other
content
people.
and sharing it to other people and not enjoying it myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would go out and take photos over, and then immediately come through and just crash edit and get stuff out just so other people could see them, and they didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And
I get it.
Now that when I'm not on a mental block of I need to get this uploaded right now so people can see it, I'm enjoying my art, I'm enjoying my photos, I'm enjoying the process because I enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've come to realize that I don't care if other people enjoy it.
Well,
That's not how hobbies are to me. I'm doing it because I like it. Sure, there are other people that are going to enjoy my hobby or get joy out of seeing my artwork, but I'm not doing it for them. And I think that's a big takeaway for me was getting that mental energy back to myself rather than putting it out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Reddit, all these things, all these places that mentally have a hold of you that says, post it here.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I felt, when I was in Maui this last week.
I saw a couple of your posts, but
yeah, but like I bought this new product to take with me to record video for myself, and it's a DJI Pocket 2 camera, and so DJI is obviously well known for their drones, but they're really known for their gimbal, and so this is a gimbaled camera, and it fits in the palm of your hand. I mean, it's super small, but it does 4K video, 60 frames a second, does HDR video at 1080p. It does a lot of things, and it can do time lapses, motion lapses, all these other crazy stuff, and it can follow subjects. But most importantly is when you're recording it, it gives you that smooth Hollywood feel, because it's a gimbaled camera. So I would just turn it on, and I would just be walking up and down the street, just recording the street, recording what I'm seeing in Maui. But then I started getting to the point where I'm like, oh, this would be a really cool social media post if I made a time lapse of this. Or this would be a cool social media post if I did a picture of this or took a video of this. And exactly what Sean was saying, it's like I found myself immediately going, wait, why am I doing this? Why am I making a post for somebody else to see on social media. I paid for this trip to come here to Maui. I should be the one to enjoy it, not everybody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I uploaded a cool, photos, and yes, I love the Pocket 2 now that I've actually had a chance to use it, but I found myself just then recording videos for myself, and I haven't gone through and edited anything because I don't need to. I mean, they're here, they're on this thing, so I don't need to be going crazy like Sean said and crash editing everything and uploading it to the web as soon as I can, because heck, if you want to go to Maui and see Maui, go yourself. Like I'm there for me, But I did.
And you have
myself,
you have memories though that you can share
Yeah.
with Eric when he grows up, and
yeah,
you
and
Misa
it's
can
important to
look at.
record that stuff, but I don't necessarily need to share it to all of my internet friends. 90% of them I don't even know.
Although
so-
I do. I mean, I like the stuff because I've never been to Maui, so it was a chance for me to say, oh, cool. Like you said, I go myself. But at least I was able to experience it, and I care about you, so it was like, look at it, he's having a good time, and that kind of thing.
Well, that's that. Yeah, no, I get that, and that's legit. But like, this is what Facebook and other companies. Correct me if I'm wrong, John or Sean, but this is what they're banking on.
I quit using Facebook probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago. I mean, it's there. I still kind of check it maybe once every few days, but I haven't kept up with any of it. I mean, I even uninstalled Messenger. Because I was just getting so much. I think during the lockdowns, everybody had too much time on their hands and they didn't know what to do with it. And me being, as I've jokingly said, I've lived my past 30 years as a disabled veteran in the same kind of mental condition that everybody else was exposed to this last year. So for a change, I felt normal. Like everybody else is pinned up like me. So guess what? I didn't feel like a rabbit locked in a cage as much because no one was going out. And so I sort of changed my mental perspective about how I saw things because I realized I'm not the only one out here that's kind of worried about life as a whole. Mm-hmm. But my worries don't need to be shared with everybody in the perceptive ways that we were all doing this, from media to, every little thing we were sharing, that even the fears and the anxieties and the things that we feel are helping us can actually exacerbate the problem's bigger, because then you got somebody else that doesn't want to tell you they're worried, and then they're worried. Mm-hmm. So for me, this past year and these past few weeks have allowed me to kind of step back and look at this picture as a whole. And I think the push that all of us are doing, and I think we're sort of tying into it as well, is this reclamation of our own identities and social lives and how we present ourselves out there on social media. Because I really don't think that a lot of us like to be out here as much as we are.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't.
there was that movie on I think it was Netflix, I want to say, not too long ago, called The Social Experiment, right?
Social Dilemma.
Or Social Dilemma,
yeah.
Excuse me. Social Dilemma. Where, he just kind of talked about how we've just become so addicted to social media, and it all started really, honestly, people would just simply post the best things that are going on in their life, which is kind of what you want to share. I mean, I'm not going to go on social media and be like, oh, I just got in a huge argument with my wife, blah, blah, blah.
Some people do, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they do. But for the most part, no, you don't do that kind of stuff. So, like, you post the best stuff that's happening in your life. But then that kind of changed us. They changed humans to the point where people are like, oh, I got to be better than this next person. I've got to upload something even better and better and better. And that's where this whole influencer thing came from. And people just constantly trying to one up each other, or if they can't one up somebody, they're just going to try to tear them down.
It's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses. It's like that whole thing.
Yeah, but that's how social media has like fractured. And I don't want to say destroyed yet, but fractured the fabric of society.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Sean, now you took a big step back. For somebody that is going to do that, there might be somebody listening right now, and we want you to visit our Facebook page and Twitter and all that. But if you do,
I'm going to feel really weird saying that when we go to break here.
But when you do take a step back, though, what are some of the things that somebody needs to pay attention to? Because we see these accounts that happen on Facebook that are still out there that suddenly have friends that get hacked and are used to hack others. I mean, what are some of the things somebody should do? Does that mean they have to delete everything they have on Facebook? Can they just close out an account? Can they take a break? I mean, what happens in this case?
No.
I mean, I deactivated my Facebook, right? So it still exists. And the one thing that really frustrates me is anytime I get logged out of my phone or Messenger on my computer, anytime I have to log back in, it reactivates my Facebook.
Oh, wow. Now you could change. Now you could do that by changing your password and not doing that on your phone. So you change your password online. So then when your phone reactivates, it won't reactivate it because you're not logging in.
Right, but I still have to log into Messenger.
Got it.
So anytime I've logged into Messenger,
yeah.
if I get logged out or I download it on my new computer or whatever, or I put it on my MacBook or whatever, it reactivates my Facebook. It doesn't tell you it reactivates your Facebook, but it does. Because
I mean, if you're not checking Facebook, does it really matter to you then?
Right, but if it reactivates my Facebook, I am now available to be searched. People can see me in their news feeds. People can see me as friends they might know and things like that. If I have it deactivated, you can't right now. If you go onto Facebook and you search for me, you cannot find me.
Right.
You can find me in Messenger, but you can't find me on Facebook unless it's activated again for some reason because I changed my password and stuff. You did not.
Did you find him? Really?
Yep.
Well, so much for that theory, Sean.
No, I'm joking.
So
I'm joking. No, I did not.
Activated.
I found your brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My brothers, all my family members.
He's got like 4 profiles. What the heck?
Yeah, the other 3 are just fake accounts that Sean created, so he can still get on there.
We all kind of look alike, so who knows? But I mean, just like anything, it's if you're concerned about it, go in and delete it.
We're poo-pooing social media, but social media does have some really real benefits as well. Like, for example, I have made friends in foreign countries. I've made friends in the town where I was born. I've made friends that are from my mom's country of Burma that are dealing with this coup that's gone over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say for that, a positive experience that. But, again, there's the plus and then there's the minuses sometimes. The Facebook got out of control. I'll be honest with you. It got completely out of control where you were getting friend requests from people you don't know, fake people. Say you get a friend request, you're like, I'm already friends with that person. And you find out it's a fake account.
Yep.
And it's been a weird journey for me because in 2005, when Facebook started, it was only available to select colleges around the country.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ferris State was one of those colleges where it came to first. So I was the first of my friends. I was the first of my family. I was the first of anybody that I knew outside of other people at Ferris that had a Facebook. And that really triggered something in me where it was, I like new technology. I like knowing about new technology. I like playing around with new technology. I like being invested in it. So from 2005 until 2019, when I got rid of my Facebook, that's a long time. That's 16 years.
That was good. That was what I liked about Reddit. Reddit, I like the fact that, hey, if you're interested in technology and you're on Facebook, sometimes it's hard to kind of nail that down. But if you like technology on Twitter, you can nail it down. If you like it on Reddit, it's even better. You can get in some really good threads that cover those topics. And for that, I do say I like it.
But Reddit definitely has a dark side.
Oh, yeah. And I just stay away from that.
Yeah.
I
don't. That's my entertainment, man.
All right. Speaking of entertainment, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with more of Tech Talk Radio coming up. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
I'm Broadway.
And I'm Justin. Find us on the interwebs, TechtalkRadio.com.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Tech Talk Radio. I'm Justin Lemmy.
I'm Broadway.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
And I'm Andy Taylor. We've been talking a lot about social media in that first segment. But there is a situation that popped up in the last couple of weeks. And the thing is you got to feel great about it, but then you don't, because then you worry about how is it going to be used. And let's face it, we put ourselves out there. Sometimes we don't put ourselves out there. We keep it on our devices. And now Apple has been talking about using technology to help find child predators or situations where kids have been put in a situation they shouldn't be put in. And for that, you have to applaud it. But for the other reason, you have to be a little concerned. Sean, you kind of brought this up, and we were talking earlier during the pre-show about this. And what does it mean for users of iOS devices?
Well, to preface this, I feel like I'm the biggest advocate for Apple in this group. I'm not going to hide that. I know that there are some of you who don't like Apple or never have. And Apple has, in my opinion, been big on privacy, and they kind of shook up the industry when they had apps in the App Store, gave the user the ability to stop those apps from tracking you across other apps, which was a great success, in my opinion, and it pissed off a handful of their vendors, Facebook and other people, who lost probably millions of dollars in ad revenue potentially.
Because they lost access to all that data.
Correct. So the debate currently now stems from an announcement Apple made this past week that says, pretty much in theory, the idea is pretty simple. Apple wants to fight child sex abuse. That's where they're going with this, and who doesn't, right? It's a worldwide issue, and it's taking more steps to get it, to figure it out and stop it. Critics are, and I agree with this, are saying it's giving control over their iPhones and leaving them reliant on Apple's promises that it won't abuse the power to scan images you've uploaded to iCloud.
So they're not necessarily looking at devices, your photos and images that may be on your devices, but instead stuff that was uploaded to the iCloud, which is a part of your Apple account.
Right. There are more than just the iCloud features, though, right? So the biggest one is the iCloud photos. The new feature scans iCloud photo images to find child sexual abuse material, or CSAM, which is part of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They're part of their database online. They also have on it a parental control option within iMessages, obscuring sexually explicit pictures for users under 18 and sending parents an alert if a child 12 or under views or sends sexually explicit material.
Okay.
And then on top of that, Apple's search app and Siri, if a user searches for topics related to child sex abuse, Apple will direct them to resources for reporting it or getting help with, and that's rolling out with iOS 15.
You know, I think you look at any move that a company makes, anytime they take a step, you have to wonder what precedent it's going to be setting for the industry. And, you know, we see this is something that Apple is deciding to take head on. Would we see the same thing for Android devices and some of the services from the other smartphone makers?
I don't know. You know, it's just one of those things that this is kind of setting a precedent for what other companies are going to decide is good for their user base, or what their user base will find acceptable. I
think one of the concerns too is got to be if somebody is hacked. You know, we've always told people don't be sharing your internet connection. And some people have done that before, where they say their neighbor comes over and says, "Yeah, can I tie onto your net because I can't afford the cable, so I'm going to go ahead and, you know, if you don't mind, I'll use your Wi-Fi." Well, we've always warned against that because of the problems if that person was to access, you know, sites they're not supposed to access.
Yep.
That'll show up on your account, believe it or not, as being access to those websites, and could put you in a lot of trouble. Now, you have to think about, well, what if somebody is hacked and this information gets on and it looks like it comes from your account? I mean, somebody could basically be set up. And I'm not saying it's not a great idea for them to be able to try and stem this. It could be used against somebody in a wrong fashion. And I kind of wonder if privacy experts are kind of looking at that as part of the problem.
Right now, I mean, you use Google Photos, Apple iCloud, you know, whatever it is. I'm pretty confident in saying that they're already scanning your photos for things. It's just maybe they're just now saying that, oh yeah, now we're looking for this. Mm-hmm. But they've always been scanning our photos. I mean, especially Google Photos. You know, I get those things that, you know, they're like, hey, We just wanted to remind you that Eric is now 4 years old, and here's a look back at when he was a baby.
Sure,
You know, it's like, you know, you sit there and want to cry. You know, you're like, wow. And they always call it how fast they grow up. And it's like, ugh, great. But they're scanning your photos to look for common things. And then they're going to present those to you. Or they're going to sell them to advertisers.
Yeah, I just had a thought. What if
So I think
we
we're all doing
we ought to test this out, Justin? What if we went out and we all took photos of cars? Go to car lots, take photos of cars.
Oh, we would start getting ads for cars.
Just, I wonder, would we start seeing ads for cars in some of our
guarantee it.
social media feeds?
Well, unless you literally put your phone, even if you put your phone in airplane mode, right? It's still going to track GPS data. It's going to correlate your location. It's going to find that, hey, you took this near a car lot, so let's start serving you car lot ads. It's all of that information is aggregated, put through an algorithm, and somebody says, well, you took a car lot, you know, you were by a used car lot, so let's give you used car ads. And the information that the used car lot has may have, it's a Hyundai dealer. So now you're going to get Hyundai ads. Like, it's just.
Well, I've told this story many times before about how I used to walk around and, you know, say the words Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti, you know, to my smart speakers, just talking about those cars. And then all of a sudden my Facebook feed is full of advertisements for luxury vehicles that I cannot afford.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, of course they do that.
You know, we're talking about all the downsides and the darkness of social media and you know, the privacy concerns. Here's some, I'd love to get your input on this. And this happened a couple of weeks ago. You may have heard about this film that has been done, a documentary about the late Anthony Bourdain. Mm-hmm. And they did something that we're starting to see more and more of. Now, we were concerned, number one, when we started to see deep fakes. Mm-hmm. Deep fakes is a visual representation of something that never occurred, but AI is creating it. And I got to say, and I don't know if you heard the news about Chinook, but or is it Shamook or Chinook? He got hired by Lucas. He's the one who did the Mark Hamill deep fake, and it was better than what they had in the movie or the Mandalorian
That's pretty
series.
sad when you get paid to do this and some guy that does it for free, you know, like does a better job.
He did a better job. He really did. And now Lucas has hired him. Well, now this film with Anthony Bourdain, they used AI to create him reading a letter. He's not really reading the letter. It's audio of, you think of all the countless hours of audio of him, and then they pieced it together, creating that flow of him reading an email in this
of Mark
film.
Hamill.
No, I'm talking about Anthony Bourdain.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, in this documentary of Anthony Bourdain, creating AI of something he never said. He
creepy.
wrote the letter.
It's creepy.
But it's in his voice. Well, if you guys saw this this documentary about Val Kilmer, it's on Amazon Prime. It is top notch, right?
Really? Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer. It's really well done. Val Kilmer, who I think up until 15, 16, suddenly dealt with throat cancer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so this takes a look back as when he was first, diagnosed with it, treated. He had a tube put in his voice box. So, and it changed, but it's a really well done documentary. Well, there's a company out there, and he got together with the company. Although they didn't use this in the movie, that is available on Amazon Prime now, because this is stuff that has happened in the last year or two. They took his audio over the years of when he was fine and doing movies, and he's shot a lot of video over the years. And Sonantec, Sonant, I want to say it's IC, they created him reading using AI. And it's his voice, not the words he said, but using past audio snippets to create him with the right inflections, all of that, and creating this AI to do your voice. And I think we're starting to see more and more of that. Deepfakes has been one concern, but now they're going to be able to do AI to control voice and change things, which, makes you wonder when you call a phone answering machine. You might sound like you're getting a real person. You're not.
Well, yeah. I'm just wondering if they maybe use some of the actual lines from him in Top Gun.
Yeah, no, no. From what I understand, no. It's select words all put together. So you could basically type out something that I wanted to say, and it will find that and
read it by Val Kilmer,
and it would be read by Val Kilmer.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I think that's something we're going to see a lot more of as this technology begins to progress.
Okay, so let's touch upon that even more. You think about loved ones passing away with AI technology now. Would you want to be able to hear the voice of, I don't know, let's say your dead parents or whatever, to be able to have AI go back and try to find recordings? Now, for older folks, it may be harder because there's not a lot of audio recordings of things, but the younger generations, even like my son, I'm all on the internet. I'm doing the radio show with you guys. There's a lot of audio of me on the internet. So it could be done for me. But would you want to? If you could, would you want to hear the voice of your parents?
I have a cassette tape with about 45 seconds of my father, who died in 1984. To me, that means the most.
Yeah.
To have an AI recreate that, no, it wouldn't mean anything.
You'd be stuck in what in the film they call it the uncanny valley.
The uncanny valley?
Uncanny valley. It's where it's that uneasy feeling that something is just not quite right with something you see or hear. So I can only imagine that your mind knows you're listening to your parent, but deep down, it's not them, or that it's been done in AI, right? It's just that uneasy feeling you get when you see something that's done in AI or you hear something that's done in AI that gives you, that's called the uncanny valley.
Okay, but here, Sean, answer my question, because Andy did. Would you want to?
No, I don't think so.
John?
No.
Yeah.
My issue, I mean, we've sort of been through this, right? All of us are old enough to remember Milli Vanilli. All of us are.
Wait, I'm not. Stop the train. We're sitting here talking about AI and dead parents, and you got to bring up Milli Vanilli of all people.
It's a great tie-in.
Hold on.
The segment. Come on.
Hold on. Can you guys wait a minute? I want to make some popcorn for this because.
All right, go on. I want to hear more about this.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, Tupac.
Yeah.
They did it with Tupac even.
Well, yeah, they did.
That was classy,
but they've done this to us in media with music and the other forms of art. AI is digital art.
Okay, but again, how does this have Milli Vanilli in it?
I see what his point is, like the whole Tupac thing, and how they just can create, right? I mean, that's... We, as humans, more of us learn from visual and audible stimulus than we do from just textual reading, right? We know this. So if the presentation can be done in a form factor that we appreciate or is easier for our brains to handle, that's the concept behind AI. Hence, we were longing for Tupac. They put a hologram on it. Before that, we were looking for good-looking dudes, not too fat older dudes singing great songs, but Milli Vanilli popped up. Ta-da! It was an easier package to handle.
So you're telling me if I wanted to learn like advanced routing techniques with like BGP and AWS and Azure, if Tupac was my instructor, I would actually learn better?
Yes, I do, because you would be able to receive that information.
Because I know who it is.
You feel comfortable.
Wow.
You already got the vibe set.
Sorry. So step back a notch. What if they said, kids, we got a brand new show for you. It's Mr. Rogers reading.
Yeah.
They could create AI deepfake of Mr. Rogers reading to your kids. Would you?
Forever.
Forever. That'd be fine for them. For me, I wouldn't watch it because I've seen Mr. Rogers in not like real life, but I know that's not the real Mr. Rogers. So for me, that would be weird.
But your kids wouldn't know the difference.
Exactly.
It's see that. Man, we're dark on this episode.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, we got to take another quick break. We come back. There was something that happened that a lot of people are concerned with when it comes to crypto. So we're going to take a break. We come back. We'll talk about that coming up. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean Weird.
I'm Broadway.
And I'm Justin. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tech Talkers. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Tech Talk Radio. I'm Sean DeWeer.
On Broadway.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Andy Taylor. So before the break, we were talking about crypto, and there was some stuff that happened this week. And while we have to say every time we talk about crypto, we're not telling you to invest in it. We're not advisors by any means.
The opinions of Tech Talk Radio are not the opinions of this radio station.
You did such a great disclaimer. But we do want to tell you what's going on and what happened. Broadway, you kind of told us about it. We started looking at it, and we were like, our jaws were on the floor. We dropped like, wait, when did this happen?
I didn't think this was possible.
Yeah, I didn't either. So this morning, in the wee hours, a person basically stole over $600 million worth of crypto assets.
Now, how are they able to make this happen? You say the blockchain, that's where this digital currency, crypto, is all kept.
So a real quick breakdown. Bitcoin is its own blockchain. Ethereum is its own blockchain. So we have there's thousands of blockchains out there. You got your tier 1s, tier 2s, so on. This is a considered tier 3 blockchain, but there was a lot of NFTs. There were some exchanges, some swaps. NFTs are art, non-fungible tokens. We talked about them, I think, last show. These types of things were on that network. So this person wrote a contract to put into this blockchain that infused a command that wasn't protected, that allowed them to gain access to all the other materials or assets on the blockchain as a whole. And so that person stole every one of them and has been touting themselves as Robin Hood all day.
I'm actually reading about this right now. This particular blockchain is called the Poly Network, and it is used by Neo, among other blockchains. Neo is a coin that I actually had invested in a while back. And I'm kind of sitting on a bag of it right now. So I'm wondering if I'm affected by this, even though all of mine are stored on my ledger, which if you do invest in crypto, it's highly suggested you do not leave your money on an exchange. Get yourself a ledger or something similar, a Trezor, a ledger. They basically look like USB sticks, but they're cryptographically, is that how you say it? Cryptographically protected, right?
You're better than me.
But that's where you store your private keys to your coins.
No, but even if you had a ledger in this case, Justin, would this, and somebody goes in, they get into the blockchain, they're able to take this, $600 million out of there, at least in
the wallets,
crypto.
Yeah, because the wallets still live on the blockchain, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, as far as I know, your money still sits out there because all you're storing on your ledger is your private key. And if somebody can get that private key, then they've got access to everything you own. Now, I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing yet about this. I don't know if this person was able to get private keys, which I highly doubt, or if he it wasn't keys. Okay, so he got access to
he injected
exchanges.
it using a contract.
So he got access to exchange. So if you, again, it goes back to my saying, don't leave your money on exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't leave your money on exchanges, like me, okay, I'm good.
So by having that ledger, your investment is safe.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry. They've gone in and taken it. But
I haven't actually checked right now, but yeah, I would assume so because they don't have access to my private key.
Now, how does somebody get one of these ledgers? For anybody that has said, okay, maybe I'll go ahead, and maybe, you never know, 5 years ago you decided to go ahead and take a jump and get yourself a Bitcoin.
Ledger.com.
Ledger.com. All right.
Ledger, LEDGER.com. And it's a great way. I mean, it's a little USB key. It stores all of your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and they keep adding support for other coins. As a matter of fact, I should probably check my balances on my ledger to make sure that everything looks right. I mean, I have an app that does. I have an app on my phone that I do give my public key to, and it checks my balances every day, and it tells me what my portfolio is doing. So, and every day, it tells me, you've lost this much money or you've gained this much money or whatever. But I still haven't actually physically checked to see if my money is still there. It most likely is.
Right. We've heard these stories this past week too about AMC. AMC Theaters apparently is going to let you use Bitcoin to buy a movie ticket. I don't know why somebody would
About
do
the same
that.
price.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why somebody would do that, but they're just saying they want to make it. They want to integrate it more into our everyday life, paying bills, buying groceries, getting gasoline, buying a movie ticket. And AMC saying, "Hey, we're going to make it happen." How would somebody actually go about using their Bitcoin to buy a movie ticket?
I mean, there's so many ways.
Yeah.
You got, crypto wallets, crypto cards out there. You got crypto.com.
There's a crypto,
Coinbase.
crypto.com is a Visa card or a MasterCard, something like that, but it uses your crypto balance.
Right. And I know that we have a couple of locations here that have the crypto ATMs.
Yep.
So you can buy crypto, you can sell your crypto. I mean, you can do that all at these ATMs that are located in various places throughout southern Arizona where I'm at. So I guess it would be the same type of technology. You would go in with this card. Oh, you could, okay, this is going to cost you 0.3 crypto for you to buy a movie ticket.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, yeah, there's apps on the phone that you can use to purchase things with crypto. Yeah, most likely the easiest way of doing it would be the card. I know there's probably other ones out there, but like crypto.com is the first one that comes to mind. They have that Visa / MasterCard or whatever that you can use to do that. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is a couple years ago before Bitcoin, launched their new blockchain, the new version of their blockchain. That's a lot faster. You could go to a coffee shop and you could buy a coffee with Bitcoin, but your coffee would be cold by the time you would be able to be allowed to drink it, because it would take the transaction anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes or more to go through, because Bitcoin is not instantaneous. It takes time. And that's where the whole terminology behind Bitcoin miner, right? You're not literally digging through piles of data to get Bitcoin. What you're doing is, as a miner, you're processing those transactions and you're adding your input to the blockchain to say, yeah, this is legit. Make this one a part of the blockchain. That's what a miner does. And they're rewarded with Bitcoin by doing these transactions. So every transaction they take on, they get rewarded. And certain transactions, you can actually pay more. You can actually pay a higher fee to get your transaction processed first, rather than just paying the standard fee and sitting there waiting for an hour for it to get done. Now, there has been plenty of times where I have made transactions with Bitcoin, and I'm not talking about buying stuff. I mean, I think I've bought things with Bitcoin maybe like twice,
right?
But just transferring it from my ledger to Coinbase or Coinbase to my ledger, you type in your key and you hit that transfer button, and then I just sit there and munch on my fingernails for 45 minutes because my money is just completely in
limbo
somewhere. It's in limbo.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's at. I just transferred $5,000, let's say, from Coinbase to my ledger. Where's that money? I don't see it on Coinbase. I don't see it on my ledger. Where is it? It's in the blockchain. It's waiting to be processed, and then boom, all of a sudden, there it is. Bam, it shows up on your ledger. Hey, you just got some more money.
But it's scary.
It's scary, man. It's scary unless you know what you're doing with crypto. And I don't mean to scare anybody away, but like, if you're going to be using crypto to purchase things, yeah, you got to get used to this. But if you're just going to go out there and say, you know what, I'm looking for a long-term secondary retirement income, dude, crypto's the way to go.
Well, we're like I said, we're not advising, but that's your opinion.
My opinion. Yeah. My opinion is my opinion only. But I'm just saying, you buy it, you hold on to it, and then maybe eventually someday it's going to be worth a lot of money. But then you don't have to be scared of all these transactions. You just buy it. You just buy it and hold on to it. Boom,
Sean,
that's it.
You're like one of the few out of the group that has not gotten into crypto at all.
So I can't say that I haven't gotten into it. I haven't been into it recently. Back in when I was in college, 2009. Well, after I just graduated from college, 2009, 2010.
Back in my day,
I was like, seems kind of cool, and I don't remember how much I had because it was so long ago, but I had 1 or 2 Bitcoins that I had paid $4 for or whatever it was when it came out, right?
Wow.
And it lived on a hard drive, and that hard drive got lost or destroyed or whatever. And I think about it every now and then, and I go, that sucks.
It's good.
That's worth. But so I just have not gotten back into it. Just I don't understand it. I need to do more research because I'm the type of person that doesn't get. I'm not comfortable with just going into something and saying, "Ooh, cool, Bitcoin. Let's sign up for a website and pay $20 a month to get Bitcoin." But it's that easy now.
Right.
Wait,
Well,
you don't have to pay to get Bitcoin.
well, if you get
No,
if you
well,
do
if buy- if I
Coinbase Pro,
buy
yeah.
Bitcoin.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you meant like signing up for a website that's going to give you Bitcoin. No,
No.
that's called a scam, Sean.
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, signing up for Coinbase and buying Bitcoin through Coinbase, or those types of things. So,
Well, I told you guys about my, recently. I mean, I've always, well, not always, but late 2016, early 2017 is when I really got into crypto. But I was told about it, and I believe Sean, you were the one that initially told me about it back in 2012.
I'm sure I had done a news story on it when it was like,
Well,
what's Bitcoin?
We
And
were
then I
playing
started
games.
talking about it.
We were playing games one night, and you mentioned Bitcoin, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And then you're talking about Coinbase, and I went and I signed up for a Coinbase account, and I bought some Bitcoin, and I forgot about it. I forgot about it until earlier this year, and I'm like, "Wait a second, I've got this secondary account." I logged in, and initially invested, I think it was like $300 or something
Right.
like that.
And it was worth quite a bit.
At that time, at early February, when Bitcoin was at its all-time high, it was worth $25,000.
It's not a bad investment.
And so I immediately transferred it into my main family account on my ledger, and then I proceeded to go buy myself some cool toys.
Right.
Because, hey, that was my money to begin with. I just hit the lottery.
Nice. I'm still waiting for you to send me that Xbox Series X that you were going to send me over, but you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
All right. We're going to take another quick break. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
I'm Broadway.
And I'm Justin. Send us a tweet at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Tech Talk Radio. I'm Broadway.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Andy Taylor. Okay. So I have to ask you guys, do any of you have a Roku device?
No.
You don't have a Roku?
Yes.
I have a Roku TV.
You have Roku TV. Okay, that's the same. Some people are beginning to find out, Roku is competing with Amazon, with the Fire Stick, the Fire Cube. They're competing with all the other, plugins to your phone. They're also competing with some of the free services that are out there, like Plex.tv, which has really grown a lot since we had the CEO of the company on Tech Talk Radio. Well, now Roku devices are doing something cool. They bought Quibi, and they're taking Quibi content like Dummy. That's
Quibi
one of
was
the
that 15-minute show thing or whatever?
10-minute. Yeah, 10-minute that was started by
Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg
Whitman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea was 10-minute shows you could watch on your smartphone. It didn't work. I actually paid for a subscription. It was $5 a month, and it was cool because I liked the show Dummy. I liked Die Hard with Kevin Hart. And John Travolta. Well, they ended up buying the Quibi library because, Quibi went away. They just added yesterday another 23 shows to their library. Now Roku is talking about adding free content that is going to be part. If you have a Roku device, you're going to be able to watch shows created just for Roku because they're competing with some of the other, like
That's
I
what
said,
everybody's doing.
it's kind of cool that if a lot of people got Roku because they didn't want to get the Amazon Fire Stick, they didn't want to get an Apple TV. So instead they got Roku because it's inexpensive. You can find it just about anywhere. And now they're finding a ton of free content. Check out Crackle, check out Tubi, check out, what's the other one? Plex.tv. And there's tons of free content out there. If you're looking for something and you want to get a Roku device.
Nice. I feel like they had to do that. Amazon got their own Amazon originals. You got Netflix with originals. You got HBO Max, now with all their originals. The people that are shaking in their boots are the traditional cable satellite companies because pretty much every major network on cable satellite has their own streaming service. Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus, whatever it is.
Just add a plus to the end of everything.
Just add a plus to everything.
Apple Plus.
Basically. Yeah. History Plus, whatever. Why not? Lifetime Plus. Sure. I know Andy will do that one. But that's kind of the way things are going because it has been long time coming that people have said to cable companies and satellite providers, we want a la carte. We want to choose what we want. We don't want to have to pay an extra $30 to get that one channel and the other 60 channels that we're never going to watch.
Do you think, as I'm one of those, I've got full cable, I've got full internet. Do you think in another 5 years we're going to see cable still today, or will everything switch
5
to
years,
internet
yeah.
delivered?
5 years, yeah. 10 years, maybe not.
Yeah.
No, 10 years, everything's streaming.
Everything will be streaming. And again, pick and choose.
Yeah.
That is it for this week's show. Lots of great stuff covered. Very dark, very brooding episode. Yeah. So hopefully we'll talk about
telling the truth, man.
The cheery side of the internet and technology for us next week. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
I'm Broadway.
And I'm Justin. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. Have yourselves a great week.